Cancer. Cancer in astrology. Reading from the book Astrology for All by Alan Leo. This is chapter 7. Sign Cancer begins the maternal trinity. The maternal trinity. The water trinity. Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. Interesting. I don't know if how did I not ever think of it that way or hear the maternal trinity? They are all very maternal. It's not just Cancer. Think of Scorpio, how possessive Scorpio is, and how Scorpio can get, and Pisces, and how Pisces likes to take care of people. It is the first sign of the watery triplicity and the second of the cardinal signs. The first sign and the second of the cardinal signs. This sign governs the breast and stomach. It is one of the most sensitive signs of the zodiac, and belonging as it does to the maternal trinity, it governs all home and domestic affairs, in which the feelings play a prominent part. Persons born in this sign are characterized as being slow but sure. They are best described by the crab, whose tenacity is proverbial. This creature moves forward by going backward, and it has come to be looked upon as a sign of retrogression. The main feature, however, of this sign is the power of retentive memory. The Cancer individual has the most remarkable memory of any given by the 12 signs, and it is no difficulty for them to recall minute incidents of the past. This makes them somewhat antiquated, as they love to dwell on past events, or to go over in their memory through past occurrences. And through this, they often become somewhat limited and hindered, particularly where attachment to family is prominent in the life. Their highly sensitive nature makes them feel very keenly everything that affects the other members of the family, and for them, domestic affairs become a kind of brake on their own individual progress. They are rather approbative, love to be approved of, and always yearn for the sympathy of others. They are very timid, reserved, and shy, and fear ridicule or disapproval very much, and this makes them somewhat conventional, with a great dread and fear of public opinion. This binds them to a clan or sect and makes them studious of caste. When attached to the Catholic faith, they are very sincere and earnest in all ritualistic observances. They are also fond of banding together into sects, sects, and when moving along the higher lines of conventionality, men become Freemasons and members of occult and secret communities, and women are drawn to mystical and occult meetings. When fully individualized, these persons are remarkable for their imagination, but when running to the personal side of their life, they become very fanciful, romantic, superstitious, and fond of the unseen. From sensation, they work through feeling to the highest emotional, and it becomes very difficult to find harmonious persons born in this sign. On the side of feeling, they are truly wonderful people, but this feeling may carry them into the worst forms of sensationalism or upward into the plane of the emotions. Being exceedingly sensitive, their feelings are very easily wounded. They possess a psychic gift in their feelings, being able easily to feel the impressions around them. They are economical and very fond of saving, which trait runs into almost all the details of their life, as they are very fond of saving letters, books, and all kinds of curios. They hoard up curios to a remarkable extent, being fond of all that is antique and connected with age and the past. They can become very conservative and certainly respect age and custom. They are persistent and exceedingly tenacious. They are apt, however, to live more in the personal side of their nature than is good for their well-being and that of those around them, but they possess a certain amount of tact which assists them considerably. When fully individualized, these persons possess a great love of power, and once having gained it, they seem to have the ability to hold it. They are not so ambitious as they are lovers of fame and public recognition, and they desire as they seek worldwide approval. They can rake up from the past things that others have long forgotten. When acting along personal lines only, they are inactive and inclined to be indolent and somewhat grasping. I haven't been speaking much on my own about Cancer in this reading. I probably would have a lot to say, but being that Cancer is a sensitive sign, and I have the North Node in Cancer, and my Mercury is retrograde in Capricorn, I'm just not feeling the sensitivity right now. I don't know that if I go too far with my Cancer experiences, I might not be able to finish this reading. As this sign governs the stomach, this organ will be a sensitive part of the system, and when the personal element is strong, we shall find these persons suffering from weak digestion and gastric troubles. They require to be careful in diet, there being a tendency to suffer from fermentation in the stomach. Worry and anxiety with them are frequent causes of indigestion, which produces a defective circulation and brings in its train constipation, congestion, rheumatism, and chronic disorders. They are liable to suffer from fancied ailments and to become hypochondriac. They're always nervous when ailing and generally fear the worst results of any functional disorders. And in this respect, they become so morbid that they actually produce the illness they imagine themselves suffering from. Their cure is a healthy imagination and freedom from all anxiety, especially with regard to domestic affairs. Ooh, that's a tough one there. I will say this, I wonder if people would really, if they think about this very often, their cure is a healthy imagination and freedom from all anxiety, especially with regard to domestic affairs. Like if you're in a domestic situation, just if everyone understood each other better, if there's people in the family or the situation that had this, I know me personally, if I knew that about someone, I would have high levels of empathy, and all I would have to do is just be reminded of it, and I would stop any anxiety producing behavior that would be causing or hurting them. I would stop that immediately because I have a lot of empathy for that. A Cancer person is best adapted to life to those pursuits which embrace the catering for the masses, and he should be engaged in professions in which the general public are largely concerned. They make splendid historians, being able to write up the past with a comparative accuracy. As the Aries types would do well as leaders in the military world, as captains, generals, etc., so will the Cancer types do well as naval captains and in all professions connected with the sea. They make good nurses, caterers, and hotel keepers, barmaids, confectioners, actors and actresses, companions, cooks, laundresses. Because Jupiter with the actors and actresses, Jupiter is exalted in Cancer, so you often see a lot of Cancers in acting. Cooks, a lot of cooks. You see a lot of cooks. Restaurant people. I started in the restaurant business. North Node in Cancer in the 6th. And that business I started in, my boss was a Taurus Sun, Cancer Moon. They make good booksellers, secondhand booksellers. I've thought about that, secondhand clothing. I've thought about secondhand. It'd be cool to own a secondhand bookshop, but that's not happening. Dressmakers, matrons, midwives, mineral water manufacturers, researchers, stewardesses, and succeed best in all matters of a fluctuating and public nature, in commodities that change hands often, and in matters of small profits and quick returns. In summarizing the character of the Cancer portion of humanity, we may best illustrate the character of this type by observing that they are seeking to become perfectly individualized. And for this purpose, tenacity is one of their chief characteristics. They are very reserved and sensitive. I can't stop thinking about the secondhand bookshop now, because I'm thinking that Amazon pretty much killed that. Because like books like this book right here, I picked this book up. I think I paid like $20 or $30 for it. It probably sells on Amazon right now for over $100. Last time I checked, you couldn't find it, and it's really an extraordinary book. But like if you picked up books like this and you wanted to resell them to make a profit, I think it's hard to do to find rare books. Cheap, I get to find rare books that are cheap. It is necessary for them to become at times what the world calls selfish, that they may protect their individuality, but when this has been attained, they are self-possessed, self-reliant, and strong characters, in which power becomes the marked feature. The sign completes the first four signs in the zodiac, in which the four triplicity, fire, earth, air, and water, commingle, as it were. It is a symbol. It is symbolic of the film or auric egg that contains the whole. And my best friend was a Cancer sun, and that he just came to mind. And this idea of being tenacious. This guy was tenacious. We used to call him like, if you ever heard of someone talking about like retard strength, this guy had retard strength. Like when he snapped, he was like superhuman. It was crazy. But on that note, I'm going to end that with Cancer. See somebody maybe watching if you want to chat or say something in the chat if you have any questions. Before I continue to the sign, I'm going to close this down and then restart with the sign of Leo.